This is Dave Lombardo, and you're watching Loudwire.
What's up, everyone? Gruhamed here from Loudwire with Mr. Dave Lombardo of Philm, of course, of Slayer fame as well. Thank you so much for sitting down with us. Wikipedia Fact or Fiction. Went through your Wikipedia page. Slayer, a bunch of stuff. We're going to see what's right. We're going to see what's wrong. So, first off, you're born in Havana, Cuba.
True.
On February 16th, 1965.
Yep. You
have two older brothers and an older sister, and your father owned 3 meat markets in Havana.
Yes.
Yeah?
True.
Cool. What's that scene like, owning a meat market in Havana?
I don't know. I was 2 years old when I came to this country, and I think the government had taken away the, his stores, when he was, I think before I was born. They took my father's stores away when they found out. They sent my 2 older brothers over to America. They were, 10 and 13 or something, or 10 and 12. And once they found out, they took it away. And then around that time, I was conceived, and here I am.
Yeah, and it was saying that, when you were 2 years old, your family moved to Southgate, California, and your brothers had arrived to the U.S. early, and that was via Operation Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's true.
So, like the sort of mass
they wanted to get,
so to speak.
Of children. Yeah, they tried to get the children out. They didn't want them to be soldiers because my brother, I think he was going to turn 13, and I think at 13 was when the Castro regime was...
You can be a soldier.
You could
have been a soldier
13,
at 13.
13,
Wow.
15, whatever. Yeah.
All right, so get them the hell out
of
here. It says that your musical interest was fueled immediately following your first musical performance at the age of 8, playing bongos to Santana's Everybody's Everything.
Yeah,
that's
true.
it?
Yeah, that's true.
That was the time.
I loved music, and I always listened to my brother's records, and I got the guts one day to bring over a set of bongos and a Santana record to my 3rd grade class.
So you just performed for the class, nice.
And in there, I was
like
all
show
shy.
And tell.
Yeah, it was like show and tell. It was like the one day,
Cool. So they saw the first Dave Lombardo performance. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Just send me tape if you have it. It says that you asked your parents for drum lessons, and then your parents said yes. However, the lessons only lasted about a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt that I was able to learn more from listening to albums.
Cool.
And, buying my own records, my own 45s for 99 cents. Then my parents sending me off to the school, and that's how I taught myself.
Yeah. Just found it a bit dull, maybe, or...
Yeah, a lot of repetition, and
sure.
which I felt it was more exciting playing an actual song, a movement, instead of these beats that lead up to that, So what I've done is I've learned the songs and then gone back and learned the rudiments.
Cool. So an autodidact.
Yes.
I think that's what you call it.
Yeah.
Your parents, noticing your withdrawal from everything except music, convinced you to quit a band you were in as a teenager and to focus on school and to find a job. And then your mom said that she was just kind of like, okay, you can do this, but you need to complete high school.
Yeah, that's the least thing. That's what she wanted from me.
Okay.
It's like, okay, you want music. And sure enough, as soon as I graduated from high school, Slayer had gone on tour.
Yep, perfect. So
I was in school and I was playing once a month at this club called the Woodstock, and I'd show up,
of course,
to class the next day, fucking, with black under my eyes, cause
just from like the pressure.
No, because Slayer would put eyeliner on.
Oh,
remember?
Of course, right.
Yeah,
I
the first
that.
album,
way back when.
Yeah, so I'd show up at school and it was funny.
Cool. The beginning of Slayer happened when you just happened to drop by Kerry King's house one day just to meet him. You introduced yourself, mentioned you played drums and wanted to start a band.
Sort of, yeah. Well,
pretty much.
I think a few months before I drove by, I had heard from a local band called Sinister, I think was their name.
Okay.
I mean, this is back in 81, 82.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, yeah, some guy lives there and he has a bunch of guitars. His dad bought him like 6, 7 guitars. And one day I drove by, and sure enough, there's this guy watering the lawn, kind of long hair. I said, "Hey, man, you play guitar?" I said, "I played drums, man. Let's get together." And that was it. And then he went over my house where my drum set was. He brought his amp, and we played several times. And then he brought over Jeff.
Yes,
right. And then they came over to the house, and we played in the garage for a while, in my garage. And then he said he knew of a singer in a band, and he also played bass.
Yep, and that would be Tom, of course.
Tom. So then we went over there.
Yeah. Do you remember like one of the first songs that you jammed with Carey?
He had a list, pretty extensive list of songs that he knew. He played in a cover band with Tom.
Yeah, a lot of Iron Maiden stuff.
That was later.
That was later. Okay.
Was later. We played "On Fire" by Van Halen.
Cool.
I think we played some Judas Priest songs.
Oh, yeah.
"Breaking the Law," "Living After Midnight." The early stuff. I forget. Don't remember too many of them. If I put my mind to it, I probably could, but right now they're not coming to me.
It says that you're the one who drew the iconic Slayer logo for the first time.
Yeah, we were drawing our own flyers, at that time.
Oh, yeah,
we were printing and putting in high school lockers.
Mm-hmm.
We would go onto campus and put all the flyers in there. And I remember, we had just decided that the name of the band was going to be Slayer instead of Wings of Fire. Those were the two choices.
Wings of Fire.
Wings of Fire and Slayer.
Damn, I don't think I heard Wings of Fire.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
We chose Slayer, and then I remember we were in the living room, and Tom's parents had his blue carpet, and we were trying to figure out what the logo was going to look like. And I said, well, what is a murderer, a guy that kills? What does he do? When he so then what I did is I carved it. Obviously, I'm left-handed, so all the angles, it's all left-hand.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's weird to think of. Yeah, it is all kind of to the left.
Yeah,
nice.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would be normal for a right-handed too, but it'd be difficult.
You didn't carve it in the carpet, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
it's pencil.
All right. Show No Mercy. On recording the drums, Metal Blade Records founder Brian Slagle wanted you to play without using cymbals.
True.
It's true?
Yeah, dude, that sucks so bad. And he still hears about it to this day. Not Brian, but Bill Montoya, the engineer.
Okay. What was the reasoning behind that?
The cymbals were very loud. I was using Paiste Rude cymbals. And, they cut really well on stage. For recording, they're good, but they're very bright.
Okay.
So he couldn't get it dialed in. He couldn't get any separation between the cymbals and the toms. There was a lot of bleed. So he asked me to dampen the cymbals, or muffle the cymbals. And I had to play like that. And then later I had to listen back and try to match the bass drum hits to the cymbals. And it was difficult because I play different every time. I keep the same structure, but I do a lot of improvisation and, I don't keep everything the same. So
you did try it out for a little bit, and it just kind of...
Yeah, it's there. We recorded it, but it wasn't on point. And you could hear it. I mean, if you really listen to it with headphones, you could hear that I'm a little late in certain parts, and that's because I was overdubbing the cymbals.
All right. Chemical Warfare. You set your drum kit on concrete. The kit was like going all over the place while you were playing, and you had Gene Hoglan hold your kit together while you were playing.
That's true.
That's true too. All right.
Yeah, Gene, he was a roadie for a very short period of time, and he was in the studio hanging out, watching us record, and the bass drum was moving, and it's like, okay, I'll hold it. Yeah, he sat there. It's cool.
God, what a great image.
Yeah.
It's funny because we did one of these with Carey, and he didn't quite remember the details of this, so I figured I'd ask you. When Gene, as you said, worked as a roadie for a little bit, it was after a lighting guy didn't show up one night, and he performed your sound checks, but then it says that he was fired as he thought Hoglan. Gene was fired as he thought a roadie only did lighting.
I don't recognize that story.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
That's pretty much what Carey says. Like, that doesn't sound right to me.
That doesn't, no.
No, but just was a roadie for a bit.
He was just a roadie.
Tech your drums.
He might have carried him in, yeah. He might have helped me out. I don't remember him really. I think he was just hanging out with us for a while. Not sure.
No. All right.
But he was there.
He was around.
There, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just a buddy, I guess,
yeah.
at that point in your career, yeah. You parted ways with Slayer in '92. Your decision was due to your desire to witness the birth of your first child.
Yes.
You gave band members like the full 9 months of notice, but the band's manager kept booking shows into when?
Into that period, yes.
Okay,
yes.
So is that what?
Yeah, I asked him if they could, give me a little time,
right,
and focus, on the situation that was happening, and but they decided to replace me.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, okay.
That was back then. Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
Rain and Blood. It said that it was you who initiated contact with Rick Rubin to produce the record.
Yes, I heard through the grapevine that a major label was looking for the band, and I think I approached Carrie and Tom and I asked them, hey, what should we do? Should we call this guy or what? And they said, no, we're in a deal with Metal Blade. I don't think we can go. We can step out of the deal. They said things were cool at that time. We don't need to move. I don't know. I felt it was important to at least question, the offer, try to see what it was. And so I contacted Columbia Records, and they said that Rick Rubin, wasn't there. They gave me another address. It was an address or another phone number, and it was to the address right here on Elizabeth Street where Def Jam,
of course,
started. I think it was like a dead end street. I forgot. But I think I spoke to a gentleman there called Scott Koenig. And then Rick Rubin, we spoke for a second. He went to my mom's house, picked me up. He was there with Glenn Friedman. Glenn E. Friedman, photographer, Skateboard Magazine.
Yeah, sounds very familiar.
No, Thrasher.
Oh, Thrasher, okay.
It's a punk magazine. I think, like Thrasher or something.
Yeah.
And he used to shoot a lot of punk bands and also skateboarders. And they showed up at my house. I was still living at home, and then from there we went to the studio, and there it happened.
Yeah, Rick hadn't. I don't think he had done any metal before that.
No,
had he?
No, he didn't. He was in the middle. He had signed Beastie Boys. He was working with Run DMC, and there's a picture online. You can search it out, and it's a picture of Run DMC, Slayer, and the Beastie Boys all in the same studio. Oh. We were mixing Rain and Blood, and Rubin had Run DMC in one studio, Studio A, Beastie Boys, Studio B, and Slayer in Studio C, all mixing. This machine, that's amazing.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Did you guys, was there any like hanging out between the studios much, or did you kind of keep it to yourself?
Yeah, the Beastie Boys, they came over and, to our studio and had a listen. And then we went over to the Beastie Boys where they were, and, they had a drum kit, and I was sitting behind the kit, and, they were playing some beats. It was cool.
That's
a good time.
Last one for you. It says that you are currently scoring a Disney pilot.
We did. Philm did.
You've done it already?
Yes.
So Disney, is this like a TV show for the Disney Channel or something?
It was this Canadian illustrators, or I forget what they're called, animators. Created this cartoon. It's called The Dudes of Legend County. And they ran it by Disney, and Disney contacted me, and I'm friends with one of the guys that works in animation.
Okay.
Well, he used to work at Disney. Now he's working at Sony. He said, Dave, would you like to do it? I said, I'd love to. It was great fun. I loved it. It's really cool. I don't think it got picked up.
Oh, okay.
But it was a challenge. It was a lot of fun. Creating these short little snippets of music for a cartoon.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sitting down
with
me, man.
That's
totally
a lot,
appreciate it. It was fun.
Thank you.
Philm, Fire from the Evening Sun. Pick it up now. See these guys on tour. Dave Lombardo, everybody.